On The Entrepreneur this week,
it was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. It was so boring. It was just not challenging me. It took me about 18 months to create a well-established system.
Then in the second half,
I've always had an eye for detail and the simplicity that comes in with suits. For like a year or something, yes, I was making great suits, but I didn't handle my finances right.
In 1975, a client walks into Ninesh Shah's shop in Mombasa. The customer wants a tarpaulin. Armed with only 2 machines, Ninesh and his 2 employees embark on uncharted waters, as this was the first tarpaulin that the company was producing. However, the client would be blown away with the product. Noticing a potential gap in the market, Ninesh would establish TARPO Industries. Ninesh would stay at the helm until 2013, when his son Asim Shah took over the reins of the company.
TARPO was known for soft roof shelter solutions. Historically, we've always been known as a tent and tarpaulin manufacturer. We do a lot of other things like sails, canopies, car shades, things like that. Anything that uses technical textiles, so PVC coated fabrics, canvas, shade net, and some proprietary fabrics as well.
TARPO Industries is an ISO 9001 certified company. The company is the only tent manufacturer in the region with ISO 9001 certification. A certification for quality management systems, it hopes to achieve continuous improvement by providing an organization with the necessary management tools to enhance working practices throughout the entire institution. Asim, who had just returned from his studies in the United Kingdom, was the driving force behind this initiative.
One of the things that I found when I came was the lack of information, and decision making was driven by a lot of gut instinct and experience as opposed to the current information available. So implementing ISO 9000 helped us create these feedback mechanisms where we're gathering a lot of data that's driving the decision-making process and ultimately then driving towards continuous improvement. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we implemented, or rather I implemented when I first joined. It took me about 18 months to create a well-established system.
At first, the manufacturing engineering graduate from the University of Warwick does admit that he was met with resistance. Asim would soon find out that as an entrepreneur, communicating and implementing change is an uphill task. If change is not implemented in the right way, it can create a hostile and unproductive work environment.
A lot of mixture, a lot of resistance. You know, new ways are very hard to accept. Especially when you've been doing something for so many years. But there was also excitement, you know, people willing to take on new ideas, look into doing things differently. They wanted to understand why we were doing this, what it was going to mean for the next 3 years, the next 5 years, and what it would mean for them personally. And I think a lot of them have had personal growth.
Immediately after graduating, Asim worked for Next, a clothing line, and for the University of Warwick as a project manager.
I worked at a clothes shop for about 6 weeks, and it was one of the worst jobs I've ever had. It was so boring. I could not fathom why I was gathering clothes from a stock room and bringing them out onto the shop floor for half a day every day. It was just not challenging me mentally, and I wanted a platform where I could practice what I'd learned in my engineering degree. So it was like, naturally I've got to come back and see what I can do in industry in Kenya. And the starting point in Kenya was obviously coming back to the family business and seeing what I could do for the business itself.
However, the 31-year-old does admit that running the company was a whole new ball game.
A lot of fear about the future, the responsibility. You know, will my plans work out? Will they work in sort of the way I want them to work, or is it gonna backfire? I think just a lot of fear around delivering a result. That's, yeah, and the responsibility of 70, 75 employees and their well-being, their dependents are also sort of vouching for my leadership. I think that's a lot of burden.
TARPO Industries is widely known for tarpaulins that are mostly used in the transport industry. Nevertheless, the company does provide various products for organization in the oil and gas exploration sectors, the mining industry, hospitality, tourism, military, and disaster relief. Although TARPO Industries is an established company, it still has to contend with the dual challenges of finances and the cost of production. Getting the right talent, though, has proved to be the biggest impediment.
I think the biggest challenge I have right now is access to talent, finding the right staff for the right purpose. That's, in my 8 years of being here, that's definitely been the most challenging thing, regardless of what part of the business it is, whether it's accounts, HR, finance, operations, even if it's vocational, finding a good welder. All of that has its challenges.
In order to address this issue, ASEEM has invested in the Global Management Challenge. This is the largest strategy and management competition in the world. Based on business simulations, the competition attracts more than 500,000 university students and company managers from around the globe.
The Global Management Challenge gave me the sort of smack in the face to say this is how business is run, and this is what management should be doing, or this is how management should look at a business. It completely changed the way I go about my day and the way I look at my businesses. And I need that support system to keep this business sustainable. I need the support system of other like-minded people. I need the youth that are coming into the job market to understand that this is how I understand the business, this is how the decision-making works. And I was struggling to find that talent. I would interview 50, 60 people, and not a single one would match the kind of expectation I had. And since then, and a couple of years ago, I introduced the Global Management Challenge in Kenya. And now I'm starting to see the outcome of graduates taking part in that competition, and then what they're able to do in the workplace.
TARPO Industries has workshops in Arusha targeting the tourism industry and another one in Kampala which caters for players in the NGO sector. The tent maker has supplied its products to customers in Liberia, Zambia, Burkina Faso and Nigeria. According to ASEEM, the quality of their products has helped the company stay ahead of the pack.
Looking at quality from our supply chain to our caliber of staff to our R&D into the future. So, for example, we work with the world's top 5 PVC suppliers, world's best quality. When we're looking at the stuff that we have, we're trying to get them to best practice, world best practice. And ultimately, we want to make sure that we're giving our clients a solution that they trust us with. So, a relationship based on trust, and for them to know that we give quality, we stand by what we do. And if they've ever got a problem, then we're always willing to look at how to solve it.
In 2015, ASEEM was listed in the top 40 under 40 men in Kenya. The prestigious award is given to young men and women making a difference in the world of entrepreneurship. Even though he might have received this award, ASEEM does admit that he has made several mistakes in his career.
I made quite a number of mistakes. The ones that always pop up to me are the ones around people. Sort of hiring the wrong person, or keeping the wrong person for too long, or even expecting more from a particular person. So I would say all my mistakes have really been around people. The solution to that is knowing exactly who you are as a person. So I've spent a long time trying to understand who I am in the last few months. you know, setting the values for the organization, and then trying to align those values to the next batch of employees that you're going to hire. So really drilling down on the details of a person that you're going to employ, using psychometric assessment. Basically get to know the person as much as you can before you bring them on board.
In the last 5 years, the informal side of tent making has grown and is offering a wide variety of quality options for the customer. However, Asim feels that there is still room for growth.
It's not evolving in the direction I thought it would. I thought it would always go towards the technical way, the architectural way. A lot of the market is still stuck on the look and the feel of a fabric as opposed to the strength, whether it's fireproof, whether it's waterproof. Those things still don't matter as much as they do, let's say, in the West. So I'm a bit surprised that it's not gone in that direction. I think it will. I think there'll be a lot of consolidation that will happen. I don't think the market is big enough to sustain, I don't know, 200 tent manufacturers, for example. I think there is a massive export market, so that's somewhere where I do expect a lot of stuff to happen.
So what advice does Asim Shah have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you know how you are going to exit and put in those guidelines to say that you will exit at this point, or this is how you will exit. Because the worst thing you can do is get so tied up in an idea, it's not working out, but you're still trying to push it. And the other thing is going back to people. You know, spend time and effort in finding the right caliber. So if you're going to employ someone, whether it's outsourced or whether it's an employee, just make sure you spend the effort in looking for the right person.
Don't go away, the entrepreneur will be right back.